All right, Papa Phil.
What's up?
This is round 2 of Motivation Sucks.
Man, what happened with round 1? Tell them about it.
You know what happened. Texas decided to be Russia for a couple of days.
And I feel like as long as we get this one out in a time, what's the word, time-sensitive manner, then everyone will know what we're talking about.
Oh, well, I feel like for the rest of our lives, people are going to remember that time that Texas was Russia for 3 days. I mean...
Negative 3,000, something like that.
Good God. It was 48. That might be a little ambitious. It was like 45 in my house.
Yeah. So we lost power on Sunday night, right? So
we didn't lose it till Monday evening while we were recording Motivation Sucks.
So Sunday night wasn't too bad, but Monday night when we went to sleep, it was 44 degrees inside the house because it didn't have power for over 24 hours.
Ain't nothing like it.
You know,
good old Russia. I don't even have to go to Russia now.
Either way,
I know what it's like.
Still alive.
I don't have to go to Antarctica.
No, never again.
Nope. Yeah, we're still alive, man.
Grateful.
So this episode of OTG,
I don't know how to segue that into this particular episode, but
we could segue it into a lot of things, but I don't think it needs a segue. Just know that motivation sucks, and it's not going to carry you through achieving any of your goals.
I have an idea about how
I'm usually the segue guy.
I have an idea though about
Backyard Barbecue 2000.
I have an idea. Oh, should be last day we record with this. By the way, I'm gonna order that table when we're done. But
I don't know. Since we live in Russia, it apparently takes 6 years. You can get on Amazon right now. It'll tell you you're not going to get your stuff anytime soon due to extreme weather in your area.
Yeah. Well, here's how we can correlate what we just went through. So it was freezing cold. I was not motivated to do my outside workout.
Yeah, you're telling me.
But stuck with it.
By the way,
I did follow through.
And it wasn't because you were motivated.
No.
It was because you were disciplined.
Yeah.
And you were being accountable to yourself. Well, guess what? I failed.
Did you?
75 hard. I did.
Well, your situation was different. We're in Daryl's spare room, but in their bedroom.
In the master.
Got
a full-blown ceiling cave in.
Yeah. So
I'm going to shorten up the story. We have copper pipe. My house is a little bit older. And we have copper plumbing and froze and busted. And as things started to thaw out and we were finding different spots where it was leaking, the one that was leaking over our bedroom, we didn't find it until literally the ceiling collapsed because it was spewing water up there and it got the insulation so wet, absorbed it all like a big sponge, got heavy. Sheetrock fell in on our...
Yeah.
That actually hit Jessica in the head.
Oh, jeez. Shouldn't be laughing right now. See, that didn't happen to us. So, definitely different situation there.
Yeah, but. I still failed. 75 hard doesn't have any, there's no exceptions.
Right. No,
except for when your ceiling falls in, then you can keep it going. So I'm going to have to restart on day 1. Probably in the next few days I'll restart because I don't know what my work situation is going to be like either. I may end up going to a night shift. We had a lot of issues at the refinery from the extreme conditions, so I don't know what my schedule is going to look like. Probably after tomorrow, which will be Monday, I'll have a better idea of what it looks like. But we're going to restart, not because I'm motivated, but because I'm disciplined.
Yeah, and I should say too, while I stayed on track with that, my diet was definitely not perfect. So, you could say that mine was a failure as well because my diet was definitely not where it should have been because, well, I'm not going to blame, it's my fault, right? I could have found a way probably.
Right.
But, yeah, far from perfect.
Should have just eaten some raw moose. Would have been just fine.
I'm surprised there wasn't moose walking around the street.
Probably is. They're going to move here now. The Siberian tigers, they're like, oh, well, hey, it's negative 300 down there too.
Might as well.
So look, guys, we're in the middle of, we're 4 minutes into this, going on 5. And this is round 2 of this episode. And the point, I feel like we were we were doing well last time we were recording, but the point is of the episode is to talk about, people, you'll often hear people talk about how
My camera just stopped, but it's back on now.
it's back on now.
We're good.
But it was people talk about, man, I'd like to do XYZ thing, and I just don't. Usually, whenever they're talking about working out or eating right, and they're like, man, I just don't feel motivated,
Mm-hmm.
And we're here to tell you that from speaking from personal experience, that motivation sucks. Motivation is not going to carry you.
Mm-mm.
It's going to be your discipline and your routine and accountability to yourself, and maybe even to an accountability partner.
Yeah. Well, motivation feels really good. You know what I mean? Like, I love feeling motivated. I was actually listening to a podcast the other day, the Curiosity podcast. I was actually on that, so you guys should check it out. But they were interviewing a guy that owned a gym, in Lake Jackson area. Pretty cool guy. So I was listening to it, and they were talking about. Have you ever heard that Eric Thomas speech where the guy tells him, he's like, hey, he goes to the guru and he's like, hey, I want to be successful and I want to make money or whatever. And the guy's like, okay, well, how bad do you want it or whatever? He's like, I want it real bad. Okay, well, if you want it bad enough, meet me at the beach tomorrow at 5 a.m. or whatever. Have you heard that story?
Mm-mm.
Carry
on.
Okay, well, let me go and finish it then. So basically, the guy tells the guru, hey, I want to make money. I'm motivated. I'm ready. I want to make money. I want to be successful. He's like, all right, meet me at the beach tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock.
A.M.
A.M. Yep. So he gets to the beach. The guy's in a suit. And the guru is like, what are you doing in a suit? We're at the beach. And he's like, all right, whatever. She's like, come and get in the water. So he goes in the water in a suit. And they walk out to the water, chest deep water, whatever. And the guru asks the guy, how bad do you want to be successful? And he grabs his head, holds it underwater. Right before he's about to pass out, the guy's splashing around, trying to get up.
Wearing a suit.
And right before he passes out, he lets him up. And he was like, if you really want to be successful, you'll only be successful when you want it as bad as you want to breathe. And dude, listen to that and you'll feel motivated.
True story?
I doubt it, but
I don't know. That was pretty sweet. I kind of like it.
yeah, you should listen to the real thing. It's like,
I don't want to be the guy in the suit.
I butchered it bad, but I remember listening to that on my way to the gym, on my way to work when I was probably 5-6 years ago or whatever, when I was getting into self-development. But anyways, the point is, it feels really good, but it's limited. It's only for a matter of time.
It's very fleeting. It doesn't last. And when the going gets tough, when you're achieving any goal, if you're actually achieving it and moving towards it and growing, it will get rougher, right?
Yeah,
it's going to get harder and progressively harder. And motivation's going to escape. You're going to feel motivation. You're going to feel, words are hard. You're going to feel demotivated, unmotivated, whatever the word is, not motivated. And you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to want to revert back to your comfort zone, your normal run and maintain that you've been on. And it's not going to carry you through. You're going to be like, man, I was really motivated for a couple of weeks and, I lost 8 pounds and then, it just kind of got uncomfortable and I'd been low on calories and working out every day and I was kind of sore and you're not going to be feeling very motivated. However, the key is discipline.
Yeah.
If you're disciplined
and you follow through
consistently.
Yeah. It's like this cycle when you'll get motivated again. Maybe, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but that whenever you don't feel like it and you're not motivated, but you follow through and do it anyways, I know we're saying that not to use motivation, but the motivation will come back.
Well,
I don't know if that's...
I think that what will happen is that you, not necessarily, maybe you'll get motivated again, but I think that more than that, you will become your confidence in yourself
Yeah.
will grow, right?
I
You'll
think those
become
go confidence and motivation probably go hand in hand.
And then whenever you're confident in yourself and you're disciplined and you have a routine and you start to believe that that's who you are, when you start to believe it,
Yeah.
my name is Phil and I am the guy that goes to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
gets it done, gets my outdoor workout in, hits my macros every single day because that's who I am.
You know who Tom Bilyeu is?
No, I don't.
Tom Bilyeu is the guy that owns Quest, or
Okay.
Quest last year, Quest sold.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it sold for over $1 billion, I believe. I believe
$1 billion.
they were the first of its kind. They have a special niche in food and nutrition, you know, that protein bars fall into. I forget the name, but anyways, they were the first people to sell for over $1 billion in their industry, basically.
So is it considered a not the point? Carry on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. You can look it up if you want. But anyway, he was one of the founders of Quest bars. You know, Quest, the brand.
Delicious.
Yep. And he has a podcast and everything, and he's really big on YouTube. But anyways,
Got some content out there.
he has a lot of content, really
Not
good.
the greatest content.
No, we're only the greatest content, but really good stuff. And one of his journaling habits is to write, I am the type of person that X.
Crushes it
Yep.
every single day.
I am the type of person that saves my money.
Yeah.
I am the type of person that doesn't overeat. I am the type of person that follows through with what I say.
This is his daily.
Yes. Yep.
And you know what you will never write, and he'll never write. I am the type of person that is motivated every single
No,
day.
that will never work.
It's not going to work.
That'll never work.
So that right there alone speaks volumes. Because when you start to, like I said, like we both said earlier, when you start to believe that, you start to believe that that's who you are. It doesn't really matter what's going on around you. It doesn't really matter if it's cold outside. You know, you're saying that you were doing your outdoor workouts when it was literally, I think it got down to 17. It was in the teens somewhere.
Monday we worked out in the outside. Nicole joined me.
It was like 17.
It was
Actually, Jessica and I went for our walk. It was like 15 or 17.
whatever it was, cold. Let me tell you. I mean, and I don't do cold.
Sun. It wasn't because you were like, man, I'm so motivated.
I was
'cause it's
born
nice
in
and
Texas.
It's cool outside.
Yeah.
I feel like going out there and getting after it.
Yeah.
No, because in your mind, I don't know if you wrote it down. Maybe you did. You were like, I am the type of person that goes out here and gets this done anyway.
Yeah, I didn't write that down.
Despite the cold.
But, and I actually haven't, I used to write, if you look back in all my journals, I have a stack of all my journals in the closet from like the past few years that I can go through. If you go through some, you'll find that.
I
written
am
down.
the type of person that
I am the type of person that follows through with what I say. That was my biggest one that I always
has the greatest podcast of all time.
well, that too. But I always try to, when I'm writing stuff like that, because you can get, if you write the same thing over and over and over, you start to feel like,
maybe get numb to it a little bit.
Yeah, you get that's a really good way to put it. You do get numb to it. But that's one that I always try to come back to is like, I am the type of person that follows through with what I say I'm going to do.
Day in and day out.
Yeah. And even when you don't, which
Chipping away.
when you don't, you just remember that, well, I am that person. I know I didn't this time, but that's me, so I'm right back on it.
I am the type of person that gets back on track even
there you
though
go.
I missed one day.
Yep.
So I need to write that down. I failed my 75 hard challenge for there was reasons. I'm not going to point any fingers. And weather. Sheetrock caving in. But look, I failed.
What's the, just real quick, sorry to tangent. What was the thing? Was it the 2 workouts?
Yeah, so
Because of the time,
It
yeah.
was really it was 3 things. It was the two workouts and it was the diet because I mean we were having to eat kind of whatever we could get our hands on.
Right.
That's my fault because
You didn't have more on hand.
I didn't have more on hand. I wasn't prepared.
Same here.
I didn't have a backup plan to be able to cook. Couldn't use my electric stove. I couldn't use my electric microwave.
Right.
I didn't have a propane grill anymore. So I ran into some issues because I wasn't prepared. All my fault. But I didn't do it. And now I will write that I am the type of person that gets back on track despite a minor setback.
Mm-hmm.
And I will complete this thing because I am the type of person that gets it done.
That's right.
So I'll get it done. And it's not because I'm feeling particularly motivated. Actually, if anything, I'm feeling a little, because I was like 40 some odd days in, 40, I don't even know, man.
You started before me, so.
I was like, I'm going to say 44, maybe 44, 45 days into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 75, man, that's pretty slick. I was getting after it, but I failed, and I'm not feeling particularly motivated to get back up on the horse, but that's the type of person that I am.
Yeah.
And I believe that about myself. And so I'm not using motivation. I'm using discipline. I'm using routine. And I'm using accountability to myself. And that's the only way that you're gonna consistently execute day in and day out, is to stick to the plan despite how you're feeling, despite if you're feeling motivated or not.
Mm-hmm. And what's some good for you? What's a good tactic? Like, what's one good tangible tip that works for you to stay accountable to yourself?
So there's a few that I use, but if you're asking for one, I think that a good one for me is having either an accountability partner, which it might sound a little bit cliche, but another one that works good for me is like posting about it on my social media for all 4 of my followers.
Yeah. Well, that's a self accountability. Your accountability partner is Instagram.
Right. And so I get on there and I'm like, hey, it's day X and I'm out here doing my thing and I will complete this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't do it, there's somebody on there that's going to go,
call
hey, dude,
you out.
Hey, dude, did you do that thing that you said you were doing? And I'm looking around like, well, enter X excuse.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just, that's one thing that I use. There's a couple different things that I think there's a couple different things that I use that work really well, but that's one of them. What about you? Are you kind of the same or?
That one definitely works really well for me, for sure. Another one that works for me, and I've done this before, but I'll be honest, the way that I'm going to say it, I'm stealing this from Nicole, my girlfriend, Nicole. Mm-hmm. She says this, and that's whenever you think about doing something, ask yourself if tomorrow's self would be happy with what you did today.
Yeah. Well,
and it's just works really good.
Right.
Think about yourself tomorrow.
Think about why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's very similar to something that you and I have discussed on the show before, is before you make any decision, I'm not talking about before you take a breath or before you take a step. I'm talking about when you're making a diet decision or a decision whether to go ahead and get to the gym and get it knocked out or not, or maybe you're pushing it off to go later, or, I'll go after this thing. Ask yourself, it's the same idea. Mm-hmm. Is this helping me get closer to my goal? Or is this taking me away from my goal? Right. Because when it's like, man, you check your watch and you got a little time, right? You're like, hey, I got about an hour and a half here. I could get to the gym. Kind of feeling tired. I'll probably have time later. Maybe I'll just go later. Stop. That decision you're making is taking you further away from your goal. It's moving you in the opposite direction. Or you say, man, I got this hour and a half. Let me get in here. It'll take me 45 minutes. I gotta maybe 10 minutes to get there. I gotta get in the gym, get it done. And that decision will move me closer to my goal, staying out of the gray area. So same idea as what you just brought up. So tomorrow, same thing. If I didn't go to the gym, my tomorrow self's going to be like, what a shithead. You should have just went to the gym. You had that hour and a half to get it done.
Yeah,
same
exactly.
idea. It moved me away from my goal, right? Yeah. So it's kind of the same concept. And I think that is a good one. That's a good tool to
because sounds kind of lame, but if you're not accountable to yourself, who are you accountable to?
Right. I think we've talked about that before too. So think about all the accountability that you have in your life. You get to work on time or you'll get fired.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
If think about it. If you got kids, you're accountable to them. You got to feed them. If you don't feed them, they'll starve. If you don't bathe them, they'll stink. You got dogs. If you don't let them out,
If you don't bathe yourself,
Yeah.
you'll stink, and
Yeah.
then people will look at you weird, and it's just this chain reaction or whatever. I guess.
Yeah. So you're getting on a Daryl tangent there. That doesn't. So I get on tangents like that all the time. I talk too much, but so you got all this accountability in your life. You're accountable to your boss, your kids, your dog. If you don't take your dog out, they're gonna, use the restroom on the floor. They're gonna tear something up, whatever. You're accountable to your significant other. But what about yourself? When you told yourself, you looked in the mirror before and been like, I'm getting this body in shape. I'm going to do it. I'm starting, maybe it's getting ready for bed. First thing in the morning, I'm starting. And then you woke up and you weren't accountable to yourself. You made an excuse.
Yep.
Oh man, I just forgot, or I didn't sleep that good. Bullshit. You weren't accountable to yourself. However, you're going to be on time to work because your boss will fire you if you don't. So you're accountable to your boss, that person. You're accountable to your kids because they got to eat,
Yeah.
You're accountable to your dog because you don't want to destroy your house, but you're not accountable to yourself. Be accountable to yourself, man. Hold yourself accountable. And when you start to stack that up, it goes right back to where this all started. I am the type of person who is accountable to myself. You start to believe that in your brain. And it won't matter if you're feeling motivated because you will believe and you will know that you are that person. Whatever your goal is, I am the type of person that
X. Fill in the blank.
fill in the blank.
And I don't think there's really, I think the saying anything more, to be honest, unless you have something in particular, I think anything beyond that is probably a bunch of fluff that's not going to.
Yeah, well,
help out. I mean,
we're newer to this podcast game, so maybe we talk around a little bit and maybe we restate things, or maybe it's not perfect, but guess what? We are the type of people that are going to practice and get better at podcasting so that we can create the greatest podcast of all time. Motivation is fleeting, folks. Don't rely on it. Be accountable to yourself, have discipline, stick to the plan. What else you got, Phil?
That's it. Can't beat it.
We are the type of people who are ending this podcast right now.